Oh well, I normally don't like to plan this out. And we're about to talk him right in front of a camera. Don't worry, Josh, it's just you. And now we just gotta set everything up, get a bit comfortable. We already prayed? I got some AirPods. You really don't. What you're afraid of. Why does it matter? Okay. So let's get this. We got this. Okay. And what other notes can we use? We can use. Hmm. Can we use this? Maybe. Okay. So now let's talk. What are you afraid of, Josh? Okay. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of a few things, really. Let's think about it. Well, let's talk about why am I chasing after things. Well, it's because I'm afraid of something. What really scares me, besides just getting worse, because I think that's very common. No one wants to get worse. It sucks. But it's also failure of just being mediocre or just not being enough. Okay, Joshua, what do I mean? Well, I'm trying to become a better athlete. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to be a good soccer player. I'm trying to manage a lot of things at once. Okay, but why? Just why? Because I'm afraid of being mediocre. I'm afraid of being rejected by my friends, by my close ones, being denounced. Oh no, God forbid that happen. It sucks. It's not a beautiful feeling and it's not a beautiful event. I'm afraid that maybe that's why I don't cease to exist sometimes. What else am I afraid of? Hmm. I'm afraid of sort of not being the authentic. How do I say this? See, I'm afraid of losing my past because it reminds me of who I am. Really. I'm afraid of losing myself. Whether it be to a personality disorder or just many problems. I'm afraid of just being hollow. Yes, hollow minded. Just living in autopilot. That was my biggest fear for years, which is where my existential crisis actually may have came from. Living without direction. That's why I fear being mediocre. I fear not doing what I know I should be doing. And maybe that leads me to be a little obsessive. Maybe a little too obsessive in what you call self improvement. But it's deeper than just that. I am afraid of the darker sides of myself. I'm constantly saying no to these intrusive thoughts, but yet I want to fit into something, which is why I still pay attention to them. Maybe it's easier to label myself than rather face that I don't know myself. I think I don't know people as well as I claim to do. Or maybe I'm just a little dumb. I don't want these things to be true. I don't want these negative objects to be true. They're very bad. They put my self-esteem where they're not supposed to be. And I feel mediocre. I fear being a zombie. I fear being an outcast. To what? A false self, maybe. God forbid I am a narc. But if I am, I would really fear being hollow because of that reason. And just living on autopilot just scares the hell out of me. Because I know I don't want to live on autopilot. But why? Because my personality revolved around creativity. Looking for something else. How do I say this? I look uh, for Let me describe it the best way. Some people are like mechanics. They like to make things. And maybe that was me. Or or maybe I'm just like, well, maybe we can do it a different way. I like to experiment. And you really can't do it on autopilot, can you? Well, it's not going to go well. You're not getting the most introspection, really. I fear living a hollow life, a hollow existence. And it's very nihilistic, which is maybe why I believe in a God. But even then, I still struggle. It's a little depression. And maybe I'm running away from this maybe hole. I think everyone feels it though. Everyone feels an existential dread. What am I truly afraid of? Being worthless. Being reminded I'm worthless, which is why I try to place my value in what I do, rather than sometimes who I am. And maybe I'm growing out my long hair, and maybe that can add value to me as a person. And maybe it's just plain out wrong. And you don't like to admit this, Josh. You don't like to admit this because you are left with nothing. You are left with nothing. And this is very hard for me to accept right now. And I'm just putting expectations because at the end, I don't want to be left disappointed. So why am I happy knowing this? Number one, I think it makes the human experience very interesting because I know it's just not me. It's not a narcissist thing or whatever. I just think it's just how people are. We don't know ourselves that well. We are constantly flooded with overstimulation. What do I mean? We can't just sit down in a room and look at a wall for an hour. I can't do it. I'm being realistic. It's way too boring. I'm scared of my thoughts. I'm scared that I might not like myself. So in short, I'm afraid of being nothing. I'm afraid of being worthless. I'm afraid of being disappointed. And maybe this is why I put things in front of myself that are very external. And I'm trying to find internal things too. But I'm afraid of a demise. A physical demise now that I have a brain injury. And I had multiple, not just one. And that's where I felt like my self-esteem was just bad. Joshua, you can't wrestle. You were good at that. But really, if that one thing, or maybe it was, let's say you got a knee injury too. You get injured in soccer. Oh, that's my biggest fear. Because my self-esteem would drop a lot. I would be like an angry old man, grumpy as hell. Because I don't want to be worthless, and I don't want my work to be worthless. At the end, I just want things to matter. I don't like nihilism. And I often don't preach it. But either way, this isn't a bad thing. Now let's get to self-improvement. What is my idea of self-improvement? Now that we know all this, nothing matters, so... I mean, there is a God. I'd never take away God in this. But I'm saying what you're going to do is going to end up being not eternal. You're very mortal. And there's things about you that will be forgotten. If I was league champion 5 years from now, would have been forgotten. But you know what? These are also things that we place treasure upon for a reason. My idea of self-improvement is looking at this emptiness and all that and facing it and be like, okay, so why be afraid? Really, and listen, you have a God with you. Maybe things do matter, but not in the way you think it matters. Maybe what you're really worried about, it feels really heavy. But it's not the end of your world if it doesn't go your way, right? I mean, the problem with nihilism and trying to combine this with God is it a little contradicts a little bit because you're going to hell if you don't do well. But I don't see it like that. I just see like you're just trying to get away from God. So now let me try and re-clarify what I just said. My fears were very nihilistic, being on autopilot, or seeing things on the autopilot, black and white. And I'm afraid of not liking myself for these reasons. Okay. And we know this. And this is why we fear rejection. This is why we fear not being good enough in your sport. This is why you talk too much. You fear not being good enough. Maybe it's a reminder. Maybe you just lack a good self-esteem. Or maybe you just want things to matter. And now you have a God with this. And maybe it does make things matter. But it's also in a way that you're not thinking of. Maybe it's more of a journey of just experiencing this. And maybe you can have a God with this. The God of the Bible. And you can enjoy all things in heaven as well. Heaven is not boring. It's fun. If you think it's boring, you're weird. Because I should be thinking, okay, I have all these fears and all, but why let it ruin my experience? Just why? Why am I so scared of my demise? Why am I so scared of hurting others? I do fear that too. But in reality, it's also because of brain injuries too, but yes, it sucks. But can't we just experience this world and just allow ourselves to mess up? Isn't that what self-improvement truly is? And it's not just external, because you're just chasing. But what are you chasing after? And maybe just because we say it's external doesn't mean it's bad. I never said it was bad. I'm just saying you need internal reasons for things too. You need to be in creator's mode, is what I'm saying. So now you're facing these truths, and you really want to find internal reasons to do so. The idea of self-improvement is to face your fears. Face your fears. Ask God to help you. Listen, just because things don't really matter in the way you think it doesn't mean it's garbage. It may mean the opposite. It may mean it's special to you. And this is very subjective. And where does God play a role in this? Well, we also have some parts that are obviously objective. Yeah, we'll leave that aside. But the point of this is to live a good experience. Why harm someone else's experience too? Which is, yeah. We're trying to live a better life. That is self-improvement. But how? Okay, you want to talk about physical. It's not about, I just want to look good for these girls. Which is pretty cool. You can, let's admit it. You do. You want it bad. You really do. You want to look good in front of your friends. I want to look good in front of my friends. Let's admit it. Let's admit it. Stop lying to yourself. That's truly self-improvement. And just say, okay, I want to look good and all that, but what else can I gain from this? What can make this experience better from looking good? Oh, I get more respect. I can like myself. I can take care of myself. And maybe that just blocks the negative self-esteem. You can build your self-esteem. Even if you think you are the worst person in the world, why not take care of yourself? Have you ever thought about that, Josh? This is what truly is self-improvement. And I'm loving this as a fun talk. But why does this matter? Because why ruin your experience that's full of ups and downs? That's full of, I really hate math. I really don't like college sometimes. And these are my fears. But why not just accept them and just face them? And knowing that you have a God, why not just ask for wisdom and help? But you think you're the worst person in the world. Well, why? Where does these thoughts come from? They weren't yours. And even if you're hollow, accept that you're hollow and build something around it. To really self-improve is to beat your fears, like Nietzsche was said. It's not about, oh, let's go to the gym, bruh, and let's go avoid these women, bruh. You guys are pussies. You plain out pussies. You're never getting what you want because you're too afraid. You think this thing will actually matter if you get rejected. Move on, bruh. And the gym will wait for you, but not in the way you think it will. I'm saying, things matter, but not in the way you think they do. You go to the gym, maybe to attract, that's cool and all. But why do you really go? The point of self-improvement is to ask why. And then you can enjoy the experience. Yes, it can be external, but it can also be internal. Why not? As long as you don't harm anyone, and most of all, don't harm yourself. That is what self-improvement is. You're trying to get better. You're trying. I didn't say you're going to succeed. I just said you're trying. And it's the smaller things. I did my hair today. What an amazing achievement. You don't have to be a world champion to beat that hollowness, to beat that, oh, I'm shit. No, you don't have to be a world champion. Even if you were, you wouldn't enjoy it with that attitude. No. To be a little more freer from that, you would enjoy the smaller things like, look, I'm liking that I'm growing out my hair. I can't stop talking about it, right? Yeah. And even if you are the worst person in the world, like Sam Bachman would think he is, or a narcissist, if you're really that bad, you can still work something, even if it's challenging. That's why we face our fears. Because at the end, even if you're pretty hollow, you have messed up shit in your mind, you have to face it. You sort of have to accept it. You have to ask God to help you accept it one way or another. Because, listen, I am a Christian. I'm not a complete nihilist. I do believe certain things matter. But sometimes we think they matter in a certain way, but it's really not that way. And then we learn. So to summarize, count your small wins, face your fears, and know you're trying to my biggest fear was feeling bad and okay, but maybe we're going from reaction to, and this is something that, I forgot this YouTuber, I'll put him later, but he's really good. My friend Brian recommended him, and I love his video. He talked about creator versus reaction. That is what self-improvement is. You're trying to be a creator, not a reactor. Listen, you gotta do things and face your fears, even when you don't like it. I hate math. I don't know how I'm gonna get over math. My fear isn't talking to girls and getting rejected. My fear is feeling shit about math, messing up in soccer, or looking back at my past with some pain because I wasn't good enough. I got injured, and now my self-esteem is fluctuating. That my fear is that. So how can we improve on it? We build awareness. We accept these things. How do we come to acceptance? It's by understanding this will take months or maybe years. And we just gotta know what happened. We just gotta know why. And I know some I can say for a narcissist and all that, that self-awareness isn't enough to heal, but it is enough to change if you are the worst person in the world. I'm telling this for people who think they are. It's all good. Because I think I have some very strong traits of narcissism, and it does haunt me. That's why I say this. Now, we're gonna get to the second bracket. That was bracket 1. I should probably put the time steps in this. So, you are bowling. What has been stressing you out this past few weeks? Oh, damn. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm pretty bowling, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm bowling. Well, first, let me tell you why it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I should probably break this down by pages, this video. I am bowling. I've been bowling since the age of 15, really. Yeah, it's not been an easy experience. I mean, I did have a forehead like around here, but now it's starting to peak in the corners. And now I'm starting to watch more Gary Linkov, and I've seen more dates. But all I'm gonna say is, yeah, it sucks. 17? Listen, I'm trying to grow my hair. I don't know, maybe prime Cruyff. I like long hair. It's healthier. It's a small win, as I said. Taking care of my hair, my body, those smaller wins of the day. But then, I'm balding. Oh, I can't style it out. The girls won't like this, and maybe I could rock a bold look, but maybe after I'm married. And I am constantly stressed out. Brain injuries definitely play a role in this. Watch my video on my brain injuries. You're gonna find out why I think it sucks. But anyways, I'm talking to you, Josh. Anyways, yeah, I've been stressed out, bro. I don't think this is a secret. But the reason why I hate bowling is because I feel like as a 17-year-old, this represents my youth. I like to grow out my hair because it represents a new era, and maybe a phase, where maybe I play more like a certain player. Maybe like Beckham, like those people who wear Adidas, Kaká, or maybe people in their younger years, like Messi in 29. That guy was a vibe with messy hair. I just think it looks cool messy. It makes you look more freestyle. It makes you look like you can just shrug things off a bit. You have long hair. It's luscious. Girls like it. Add some chain. I don't look dripped out right now, but add some jewelry. I mean, some good clothes. Baggy shirt like Adidas. Some jeans. Some nice Nikes, and boom, you're set for the day. But anyways, it's a style I kind of got from Wilmer too, but I just like it. Just look more elegant or majestic. I'm not trying to sound gay or none of that, but long hair looks cool. And for those who say that, oh, it's so gay, you should probably buzz cut. Pirlo, Messi, who else? Ronaldo probably, he grew his hair a lot, styled it a lot. Who else? You see these guys in 300 Stalios. All these icons, they grew out their hair. I don't, like, who cares? Like, yeah. I think I would argue Samson. He was pretty much of a narcissist, according to Sam Bachman, and he had a lot of flaws. I love him, and he had long hair. How did he depict Jesus? Longer hair. It just shows strength in your youthness, or maybe he just looks more shyer, but wholesome. Yeah. Good boy. Anyways, a man can have long hair. So yeah, I just ran about long hair. I like it. Listen, I get it. I like it. I can do so much things with it. And now that I'm starting to bold, it sucks. It really sucks. But what can we do about this? I know it's hard to say. I know it's hard not to stress out. But so let's physically. I made an appointment for Friday. I'm hoping to get a prescription for finasteride, rehab minoxidil. But for now, let's create a realistic routine. Every day. When you're not really working, when you're just chilling, just put a timer on your phone. 20 minutes. Take breaks, 10 minutes, twice a day. Just go like this. Create blood flow. You can use a scalp massager. I don't care. Whatever you do, just massage the hair, my brother. You want it to grow luscious, you want to regrow that hair, you want to relax your mind. Why not massage it, bro? I mean, if your muscle's tight, why not just massage it? Prevent further damage. Cramping, ooh, no bueno. Number 2, listen, I could put minoxidil in all, but I want to get finasteride. But I could, let me think about it. Should I use minoxidil this week? As in next week? Yeah, twice a week? Okay, you have to do it twice a day. Okay, we're gonna do it when I wake up and before I sleep. Just a little spray on the head. And we're gonna microneedle 2 times a week. I don't like the derma roller sometimes. I'm being realistic. I do plan to get a derma pen when I get my own money. Just because it doesn't really get involved with the hair. And these are Dr. Gary Linkhoff's words. He's a really good doctor for alopecia, even though he has it's a funny story. But what has been stressing you out this past weeks? Oh Lord. So yeah, did I tell you how I was running away from my problems? But it's also like the lack of self-esteem that makes it hard. I mean, it's been something for years and years, and maybe I just don't know myself too well, or maybe I do. it's just a cognitive dissonance part that it's just so hard to do things now. I've been stressed out because I had brain injuries. And you know what's brain injuries? Some parts of my brain did not turn off when I needed it to. I woke up 5 times a day and I had college. Oh Lord, I had college and oh, by the way, you like this girl? Oh yeah. You want to approach her, so grow your hair and all that. Okay. Oh shit, but I got homework. Oh, but I gotta play some soccer. But I gotta be good at it. But I gotta go to the gym. But I gotta go meet my friend. Oh no, I got a church right after. Joshua. Joshua. And now you fear that you're a narc. Oh no. Now you're hyper vigilant. You just can't sit down and listen to music because remember, it's hard because I can't meditate because of my brain injuries. I was able to at one point watch my video on brain injuries. I'm gonna explain it. I explained it further already there. But anyways, it's just been hard. I have expectations about me and a friend. I have expectations about sleeping. I talk a lot because I have so much to say. I have a lot to feel. And I feel like I sleep sometimes without facing my problems, which is why I talk about my fears. It's about feeling lonely sometimes. Or it's just not being the person I want to be. And I want to please this person, and I want to please myself. And it's just been a lot of dissonances. And when I really try and look back at my childhood, it's stressful. I realized that I got yelled at a lot for not speaking Spanish as great. It's not fun sometimes, but I love it because it's what happened. But then I gotta write the psychology paper. But then I gotta tell people that I'm so good at psychology. Really, I just like doing what I do, but then I get prideful when I do it. And then I'm wondering, am I asking God for the right things? But then I'm like, God, help me relax. But what does it mean to relax? Oh, but I'm not getting my flow state. What the hell is a flow state? Okay, you see where I'm going. You're everywhere, Josh. You're everywhere, but you're not sitting down. And why would you? You have work on top of, and then you want a job, and then you want a girlfriend, then you want all this, and you know you can probably handle all this, but then you don't trust yourself. You want things to be easier, and then you want to go to your friend's house the next week, and you've been doing this a lot. You wanted to go to the city too, I remember. You were scared of watching Veronica. It wasn't that scary. And then you want to talk about 500 Days of Summer. Yeah, that's a lot. And then you want to make a playlist so then people can know how good your music taste is. In reality, you just wanted to please yourself, but then your intrinsic motive got in the way of it. Your ego. You just couldn't just relax. And then you feel like when you do, it's boring. Very empty, huh? Or maybe you do love it, but it's just, I'm missing something. I kind of wish I wasn't alone. So yeah, you're like in a dissonance, and can you get out of it? Yeah, I think you can. Even if you are the worst person, like you can reduce 90% of it. I mean, that's fine. You just gotta focus on one thing at a time, and you just have a lot of physical goals. Let me tell you what they were: to stop the bullying, to help the brain injury part, and you want to be a great bodybuilder, but then you want to do soccer and oh yeah, you watch the wrestling team a bit and you're not getting the attention you miss because you really miss that sport. You really miss what it felt like to be good at something and you lacked importance. So yeah, it's been very interesting. Then you like Alyssa. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about these things later, but yeah. Yeah, I've been stressed out. And I tell you, brain injuries is not easy. I don't wish this upon anyone. And it's to my Lord that I pray that it only gets better from here, okay? I mean, yeah, it only gets better. I got medications. I won't say what they are, but I mean, melatonin maybe, but take it at your own risk. Because 5 milligrams may work for me, but it's not going to work for you. Because it's just a little too much. 0.5 is good, I guess. And the reason I say that is because it's overdosed. So now we're gonna get to the third part. So normally I just read, just take 10 seconds, just relax. When will you feel enough, Josh? That's a very interesting question, and we've been talking for 30 minutes. I can see you love talking, Josh. Okay, this is very funny. But, because I can be goofy with myself. I don't know, it feels weird. When will you feel enough, Josh? That's an interesting question, because if I am a narc, maybe never. Okay, no, I don't think that's the case, but it's just a constant struggle inside my mind, but it's not an easy problem. But when, like, this wasn't an easy question to ask, because this isn't just about personality issues or very strong narcissistic traits. It's just how the human condition is. Like Schopenhauer would say, you would always continue to want, and you're gonna fall in this loop. And this is where I think Buddha and Jesus Christ plays a role. And I think Jesus Christ is like, what you want is like temporary. Why? Like, it's good that you want these things, like you want marriage and all that, like, but it's also like a lot, bro. And then you're never gonna feel good enough, because it's I will feel good enough when I just realize I don't need to set expectations. I will feel good enough when I feel like I grown past the rejection phase. Like, sure, it hurts, but it doesn't even matter. I got my bros. I love my bros, Wilmer, Zaram, Josker, Brian, both of them. If you want to count them, then yeah, why not? Alyssa and all those people. Roberto, Muiwa. There's a lot. My dad, my grandfather, I can list. Yes, you have examples. You just want to feel like you've done something. I told you felt bad self-esteem because you haven't felt like you've done shit. And even if you did, you graduated early, you graduated early, you did 3 years of Italian, which is pretty interesting, I guess. You wrestled 3 years for your favorite school. You didn't think that was going to happen, at least. Your life took an interesting turn. You're trying to get better at soccer. Okay, you got a 3.2 GPA in college, first semester. You're trying. You want to be a nurse, but then you love psychology. You love history. So it's just, when will you ever be enough, Josh? When will you be enough to... No, we're not talking about someone else. We're talking about yourself, Josh. When will I be enough? Is when I realize I love this moment. I just can't meditate, bro. It's been hard. I don't think I should separate people with brain injuries, and they do tend to have narcissistic traits too. And just people that are healthy, or we'll call them neurotypical people. It's just not been easy. Listen, I can meditate, and I'll just summarize a long video from the last time. It's just I can't make this thing relax. I will feel good enough when I can somewhat get 80% of what I used to. And it's a journey. And maybe I have 75% already there, and I just need the next 5%. The self-forgiveness, self-compassion, self-love part. But that's been so hard to develop, because who am I loving the most? Her child with a low self-esteem. Interesting. But I don't hate myself. I really don't. I think I am creative. I think there is good parts of my personality. Like, I am a hard worker. Even when no one's looking. I like to keep my word. I'm a man that keeps his promises. I'm a man that is very pragmatic, which I'll just tell you things how they are so you don't get disappointed. I don't like seeing others get hurt like that, because that's why I'm so pragmatic. Because I wouldn't want that to be me. Maybe I have a little too much empathy sometimes. And that's not BS. And maybe I just try and hold on to certain parts of my personality, like on culture and all that. But in reality, it's not gonna make me feel good enough because you're always putting expectations. So when will I feel enough is when I just tell myself, relax, pray, and I just want to live a simpler life. Technically, I do have that. It's very simple. I go to tomorrow, I wake up, get my hair done, shower, stretch, and I pray. And then I get my hair done afterwards, okay? And then I just dress the way I want. And I meet my friends in college, and I just want the ability to enjoy that. At least fix my brain injuries a bit. And I think it is very manageable. I just think I'm going down a negative slope, but maybe someone can help me. And maybe someone can help me beat the fear of just feeling nothingness, emptiness. And we all feel it. But that's why the human experience is cool. Even the worst people. Yes, even the worst people. Look at Sam Vaktin. He done. Listen, I know his motives aren't there, but he is a professor that has a narcissist, psychopath, IQ of 190. I mean, 160. Around there. He's pretty up there. And he does his best, but I know he's suffering. Many are there that are suffering, and I think it's generational too. My mom. Yeah, it's not something that I like. It's a long story, but when will I feel good enough? And this is a very long answer to a simple question. And frankly, I'll tell you one thing. You can't simplify the complex sometimes. You just can't. Because not all things are just that simple. That's why I have to break it down like a formula. I will feel more enough when I can enjoy my craft. When I get good at it. Like when I was good at soccer, when I get good at soccer, and maybe I am getting there, I'll enjoy my craft when I get better, where I can be consistent, where I see a positive pattern. And then I want to push myself even more, but then there's a problem with that. You're always going to have external motivations. A girl looks at you, but then you don't have to see it as bad. Listen, you don't really have to see it as bad, bro. You just have to accept things. I will feel happy or not happy. Okay, happy, yeah. Because I'll admit, you'll never feel satisfied. You'll always want something. It's just how the mind is. Imagine you were satisfied with what you have. You would have died. You will die. You're not going to look for more money, more food, more time with your girl and all that, if you have one. Because you're too satisfied. No, I want to continue wanting, but I just want to enjoy my craft. I just want to be present for it all. That is my idea of self-improvement as again. But also it's just to beat myself up less. I know there's bad object, maybe it's a lifetime, maybe it's just temporary. I pray it's temporary. Whatever I was told when I was younger, it's not true. But either way, it sucks. But we can still manage our landscape, whatever bad or good it may be. Like Brian would say. And you can still enjoy some parts of it. I just don't want to live in the hollowness part of it. But that's a different story. Yeah, it was pretty long. That's why I say I'm going to separate them for pages, so it's like 3 or 4. What would happen if I did not graduate early? And why am I changing my perspective? So yeah, you graduated early, Josh. Congrats. Yeah, it's actually... Well, you ended up regretting it for months. I mean months, and I think you're more mad that you got injured rather because like, listen, I don't mind graduating early at this point. I'm just mad that I got injured and things didn't go my way on my biggest day. That's fair enough. I'm being realistic. Brain injuries fucking sucks. So what would happen if I did not graduate early? Then maybe I wouldn't put the expectation. Yes, expectations are good for you when you're trying to fulfill a goal and you have to stick to it. It gives you a reason to live. But then when you don't fulfill it, you get hurt. And that's what happened with me. I got a brain injury in my wrestling season. And shit, that felt bad. And I still feel it to this day. So, what would have happened if I did not graduate early? Listen, the way my wrestling team is, I know it's an individual sport, so I would have loved the individual aspects of it. But I would not want to see it fall like that. It's just too much. But I love the sport. But either way, it's going to be a year. If I did not graduate early, maybe I wouldn't meet the people I'm meeting right now. Maybe I wouldn't mature a little quicker. Maybe I wouldn't be having to readapt. And maybe I'm seeing the positive sides of college, which is, well, now I have a plan. And maybe I can just execute it. But I would have took less classes. I know. And maybe I would have been with my friends every day for soccer. But it would have been mundane and I wouldn't appreciate it. Listen, I can't put expectations anymore. I can't. I don't know. I'll just admit I have holes in my personality. I'll admit it. I do. I don't know if I would have freaked out or would have got bored or maybe graduation would have been like, oh, I have to do this and that. And my mom's still the same though, man. She would have spent hours on makeup on and I got pissed about that. Oh, hell no. That was one stressful ass day in graduation just for me to regret it. But anyways, I don't regret it now, obviously. It's a funny story. And now I can spend a year just telling myself that story while my friends catch up. So I'm changing my perspective because things aren't always great as they seem. But either way, I wouldn't know. I simply wouldn't know. I wish I could change the brain injury part, but in reality, that's not how theoretical time travel will work. I wouldn't know that what it feels like to, but I still would have worked hard, knowing how I am. But maybe I would have lost the league finals, and God, that would have hurt. Maybe I wouldn't be on the wall, and God, that would hurt. And I'm sure I would have loved to do the sport and all. But maybe what I'm doing is better now. It's just, and I met more people, and maybe I can say I truly suffered in something, and maybe I can overcome it. Maybe someone needs me. It's called the butterfly effect. I think it's interesting how this story unraveled. Joshua, what if you end up doing something better than wrestling? Oh wow, that's very hard to think because you loved wrestling. But then you realize, no. Okay, you liked it, and don't get me wrong, but like, you love the feeling of feeling important from it. You have an ego. You have an ego. You have an ego from the sport. You feel like, I will fuck up that other guy. Okay. So what? There's many people like you that felt the same way, Josh. And now you can tell your story why injuries suck. They really suck, bro. But you know what? You went through the worst and you got through it. Can you at least applaud yourself for that? Listen, that was considered the worst thing that could have ever happened to you in your head if you were thinking a year and a half ago. Now look at you, Josh. You're starting to think a bit differently. And who knows, maybe you would have set expectations that would have got you injured. Either way, Joshua, you stress yourself way too much. You overwork because you're afraid of failing. You're afraid. You're afraid of not being good enough. You're afraid. But then you meditated. But they were external. You just wanted it to reconfirm something. To truly meditate is to just accept it. It's easier said than done, but that's what I learned. Now I have a new passion. And it's not new, it's like kind of pretty old, but soccer. Am I going to be the best at it? You know what? This is a positive thing, so fuck yeah. I got God on my side. And I got to stop cursing, but really. So what's been causing me to overthink? Constantly running away from what I afraid to face. I am afraid to face these facts. That maybe I'm not important. And it's the truth. Like, okay. But why can't I be important in my life? Why can't I just be good for someone else's life? Why can't I just help someone out just for the sake of doing it? Why not do it in secret? Just lock the door. Do it behind the doors, actually. Like, just do it when no one's watching. That's what I did with, that's what wrestling taught me when no one knew that I was running a 20K in the cold air in 11 to like 3, and that's where I met Frank. No one knew. But I told him, of course, but like maybe a mate or two, a few people, but no one really knew how crazy I was. You can use these skills throughout life, my brother. But the thing is, this is a self-journal, so I have to put in the negative parts too. No one will know how good you were. And I know it sucks, it really does suck, and that's why you overthink. No one knows how good you were. Did you get shot in the head or something? No. So, you can still play soccer. I mean, you can still teach other people wrestling. I know your legacy isn't the same, and I know you're trying to be positive. Oh, I wrestled 3 years of brown one. I know. You say it so much, but then, yeah, when someone like Ronald says, oh, but you were really the varsity in your last year because you didn't make it to leagues while I was injured. Okay, yeah, it stings a lot. Yeah, you know why it stings. And you know what? You should have a reason why it stings. You fucking worked your ass off. If you were lazy, if you were really a lazy person like people said you were, why does it sting you? You actually worked hard while balancing school life, while balancing cutting weight, while balancing soccer just for fun, while balancing, I don't know, a social life and wrestling. You should be mad that that shit happened. If you're not, then you haven't worked shit. I just realized, yeah, there is a reason why you're still sad like a year later or 2 years, whatever. Cause you worked so hard and went unrewarded. Alright, what am I gonna do? Cry about it? No, but Joshua, you have a reason to be angry. Not at anyone. It just sucks. And now you can tell that to the next person that ever feels a loss in his life. I had to tell that to someone in wrestling, like, you have a reason to be pissed. You worked your ass off. His name was Dundee. He better come next year and beat the shit out of these people in wrestling. You have a reason to be angry. What is your revenge? No revenge on anyone in particular. You just get better. You just know you have a reason. You know you prayed. You prayed every day. And maybe you were praying. I mean, was it wrong that you were praying to get better? No. I don't see God as a genie. I don't think it should be like that. But no, it's not bad. You want to represent yourself. God knows what you worked for. Does it suck that it was taken away? Yeah. So I'm just really I'm sorry, I'm really backtracking on the high school thing and why. Yeah. So yeah. What's been causing me to overthink is just running away from these truths. Like, okay, like, man, you have a reason, Josh. But just don't use that reason to hurt others. It's really not. It's stupid. I know you have brain injuries and all, but like, don't do it, bro. It's not smart. I care for you. I really do. And what's been causing you to overthink? Because again, you keep running away from. I mean, music is good and all, but just let it all out. You can vent here. This is your safe place, Josh. You and me, Joshua. You and me. I know it feels weird because it's just me and me, but like, come on. Come on, bro. I seen you do everything. Come on, bro. God see you do everything. Your dad didn't see you do everything. Brian didn't see you do everything. You saw yourself do everything. So, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel emotional. It's just, just don't, yeah. And I can see why you project it, but okay, that isn't good. But As again, as we go back to self-improvement, face it. Face your fears. Face it, my brother. Understand it. Don't fight it. That's useless. Why are you fighting this? You're gonna lose to yourself. You're gonna become more insecure. Someone asks you, be like, yeah, I worked so hard, but right? It's not that it went for nothing. You're here. Project that anger to soccer. Joshua, you're not dead. Thank God. You're not dead. You're not walking dead, I hope not. What's been causing you to overthink is also a mixture of problems. That is perfectly fine. You're a teen. It sucks that you're stressing out a lot. But you're managing. You're trying, Josh. Count your small wins. You're facing your fears. I respect you for that, brother. So that's part one. Water break.